Hey, it's me, unapologetically T, and you might hear it in my voice, or I don't know, just see it in my aura, or energy. Like today was a rough day, and it really wasn't rough because anything happened, like in the physical sense, but emotionally today was a rough day. Last night I did not get the sleep that I wish I would have gotten. And that's another thing, like having these expectations. Like I've already admitted to being a night owl and but I didn't. I wanted to go to sleep last night and just couldn't. I took a bath last like I was heavy on the self-care yesterday. Um it just didn't work. And today so I woke up definitely I don't know, like it was like I just rather would have stayed in bed. But you know what? Like I definitely told myself to get up. And just to be transparent, I probably woke up at like maybe 2, 1 o'clock. And I woke up, different times that morning, but just rolled back over and was like, go back to sleep. In all fairness, I did not probably go to sleep till about like 7 o'clock this morning. So learning how to be fair with myself that I did not get rest last night, so that definitely is going to throw things off. um Emotionally, I have a lot. I do these videos and I'm smiling, and I'm not wearing the mask anymore, so like I literally be having good days. Like I literally do not be letting that shit bother me. But today, I think I've had enough, and that's okay. I'm not gonna sit in this, but I just feel like that. Like it's okay that I feel like this. And it definitely made me want to do a video on like depression, even like suicide awareness, because I've been there before. However, I'm not there right now. But it just definitely made me think of others who are struggling right now, about those things. Like for my personal situation, I do not know what's going to happen with housing. Um, and I do know that I do not have any intentions on returning. Well, I'm not gonna even say returning because that's her home. But like going to live with my mom, which she lives like 80 miles away. And yeah, like the internet's different there, so like that would definitely kill my dreams. So yeah, like I'm just in this space where I am trying to figure out things, and then there's this other, like I feel like I call it God. This is the other presence that's saying like, child, don't you worry about it. Like it's gonna work itself out. And it's hard for me to like be okay with that all the time. Like I am learning patience. That's a hard one for me. Patience. Ugh. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Yeah. I can say that for years I struggled with depression like deeply. The things that I was going through definitely made it hard for me not to struggle with depression. I mean, I was living in a reality that just did not match my idea of how things should be, and I was living off of hope. And my hope would get shattered a whole lot. And so I definitely was living with extreme depression. I had depression so bad that it was like to get up and brush my teeth in the morning was a task. To take a shower was a task. To get up and take my daughter to school was this extreme task, and that was a task. But I definitely was doing that though, and I noticed in my depression I could do for others, but it was an extreme task to do for myself. So like to even feed myself was an extreme task. But however, I was getting up fixing dinners and lunches and breakfasts for my family. But when it came down to me to eat, I would tell them, like, after I done fixed all that, I don't even feel like eating. And it just got to a point where I just did not care for myself, and like didn't no one around. I mean, Charlotte was a child, and I think she cared more than he saw to care. And I don't think that he did it out of a place of malice. I think that he did it out of a place that he didn't have the tools in his toolbox to figure out how to help. Even though it might seem like it's common sense, I don't think he quite understood that, or you know, just saw that, like, I needed help. And I think a lot of family members go through that, right? Like, it's just like, why don't you just do these things? And I feel like when you see a person who is a high achiever and a person who is a go-getter, and you see them not doing the basics for themselves, something is deeply wrong, like deeply wrong. And I always have been transparent and clear in my videos. Like, I did advocate for help for myself. I was told by him and family members that, basically like it was not encouraged that I'd go seek out these resources. Or either they projected their stories onto me, like, well, when I was going through it, I couldn't take the medicine because I was going to be a zombie. And, like, or when I was going through it, I didn't have anybody to watch my child, so I couldn't do it. And it's like, well, like, I don't need to hear your shit right now. Like, I'm in a state where I need help and I need encouragement. And, like, I definitely did not feel supported in that. And I felt like if you do have a family that's very supportive, like, thank God for it. For me, I got so many mixed signals and everything. I even was ashamed, like, one time I went in and his stepmom was like the intake person. And I could have said, like, hey, look, nah, she too closely, involved. However, during that time, like, I didn't even have a voice to advocate, like, that I felt uncomfortable or whatever the case may be. And it's not even no malice against her. It's just, like, it was a very close person, like, and I was going through this thing to kind of, because I couldn't get help from very close people. And, so, like, that was an experience that imprinted on me. Like, I had a lot of shame and guilt behind that. And it's like, then I had a lot of shame and guilt. I didn't know what the hell he was telling everybody and stuff like that, because he definitely, just like I said, I used to say things and throw it in his face. Like, he used to throw that shit in my face. Like, he used to throw it in my face all the time. And it was wild. But I definitely, I felt like I had fell off in life. Like, and then I look back on things, like, even though I felt like I had fell off in life, like I said, I had the energy to do for others. I was still doing for others during that time. Like, I was doing for other people kids, and I wasn't doing for myself. And that brings me to the point of, like, for my journey, self-love is a big one. It's one that, I'm learning. I'm struggling with it. I'm learning. It's baby steps for me. But to look in the mirror back then was, like, kind of hard. I even look at, like, pictures. Like, I didn't have a lot of pictures back then because I did not like how I looked. I had gained so much weight. I do thank God that I have a nice face, but at the same token, like, I don't have a bunch of body pictures because I did not like the way my body looked. And I'm learning to, like, accept my body as it is, even though I am going to eventually put in a lot of effort to change that by exercising. I am learning to love myself in the state that I am. Am I perfect at it? No, I'm horrible. But like, I'm taking baby steps towards it, like, just accepting me how I am. And sometimes I can do that. I try not to compare myself to others, but then sometimes I do compare myself to others, and I'd be like, you know what? You need to thank God because, you might could have had a shape like this or a shape like that. And I think that's the whole point of this, right, is to love yourself. And I think I had gotten to a point where I just didn't no longer love myself. It was like probably my lowest point in self-esteem I've ever had in my whole entire life. Um, I felt ugly. My self esteem was based on how he felt about me or how he treated me. Um, and then it got to a point where it didn't matter what he did. Like I just had this completely low self esteem. I will say, like, it's a Cat Williams joke when he be like, "Bitch, like how you gonna base, like how am I messing with your self esteem when the word in it is self esteem?" And yes, that is the funniest joke ever. However, it is not accurate. And I think we have to pay attention to sometimes when you're dealing with people who are already broken, that's coming into a relationship, like you definitely need to pay attention to how you're treating them, because sometimes they're so broken that they're basing their self-esteem off of you. And I will say it like this, like every time he would cheat, it definitely chipped away at my self-esteem. It was like, well, what's wrong with me? And then it was like this switch turned on for me, though. Like, I will say this, the switch turned on for me. I knew him when I was broke. I knew him when I was doing okay. I knew him when I was doing well for myself. I knew him when I didn't have shit. And I just knew him when in different points and parts of my life. It was 11 years, right? So it got to a point where, like, I realized, like, hey, look, this don't got shit to do with me. This is his problem. This is his own insecurity that he keep trying to fill voids with other women. I know what I got, and, like, I've always been told that it was great, so, like, it ain't me, it's you, because I check off boxes, and, some of the women he was cheating with, like, didn't even check a box. Some of them did. And, that's just how that went. And so I did learn that, men who are habitual cheaters, that's something wrong with them. They got to figure out why they using women to fill their little empty void. And it's never going to be enough. And you're always going to feel empty. And I learned from that moment to stop basing, me off of them. Cause I mean, like, he would cheat with girls like that had big butts, ugly ones. Like, it just didn't matter. Like, it just didn't matter. I think he cheated, with anyone. Anyone willing to give him a goddamn second. So, and I think it's funny because men think that shit cute. Like, y'all have conversations about, like, it's different if a woman cheat. And then y'all be the first ones, in the corner crying when a woman cheat back. So it's very interesting when, in all actuality, the feeling is mutual. We're all hurting the same from being cheated on. It's a betrayal. I do not know why patriarchy has allowed you niggas to think that it is a different feeling. That same fucking gut-wrenching, gut punch that you feel that another nigga had your girl is the same shit we feel when another woman done had ours. Like, we just stronger than y'all. And that's how I'm gonna put that. And I've gotten to the grown big age that I ain't stronger than y'all. I'm just like y'all. And if you cheat on me and you ain't came clean, I had to find this shit out on my own, and we ain't had a conversation about this. Like, you didn't come to me, or some female had to check me. Like, it's levels to it, but at the same token, like, I'm not going to be repeatedly cheated on. Like, I'm just not. Before I had met him, it was something that I didn't tolerate. But when I met him, I tolerated a lot of stuff that I normally didn't tolerate. A lot of people thought that. Like, a lot of people told me, like, I never thought you would have dealt with that. And that's just because in previous stuff, like, I wouldn't. I definitely had this mentality where, like, she hurt to disconnect, but I gotta move on. But for some reason with him, it was just like this, I want to work things out no matter what. I never want to be in a relationship where I'm repeatedly getting disrespected over and over again, ever a fucking again. I don't care for what amount of love. And I don't want to be the person either disrespecting someone over and over again. I feel like that's just sick, and it causes for bad mental health. But in the right now, I'm definitely, having issues with where will I stay. Which I know it's gonna be passing, because like I'm trusting in God, and this is something like that's completely new to me, like to have full trust in God. I've had trust in God and faith in God, but I definitely have explained to you, I used to definitely push my puzzle pieces and make them match, and get some scissors and cut some shit just so it could fit. Like I was forcing stuff because I had my own plan. I do know now that like God laughs at the plans that we make, and I'm supposed to take his lead. Doesn't mean that, ain't no work going on behind the scenes, but it definitely, is a whole nother ball game than what I'm used to playing. So what I'm learning is that I just need to take care of me. Self-love, self-care. And it's new to me. It's new to me, but I'm getting it. I am doing it. I have been brushing my teeth every day. And just to say that sounds weird to some people, but if it sounds weird to you, this shit ain't for you, or either it is for you to understand someone that's in your life. But that's why I say, like, you gonna judge me, like, you talk to me when you've gotten to a point in life where you just giving up on yourself. That's when you can judge me, because I feel like you have been where I've been, and still even then you might not know. So I would say, like, just having like a hygiene routine again. I'm grateful and I'm proud to say I have that, like showering every day. I love baths though, so I mostly take baths. But I still shower after I take the bath, because I feel like you've been sitting in your dirty water. But what else have I been doing? Oh, my skincare. So my skin always breaks out easily. And it's definitely dependent on what I eat. So like I notice when I eat chocolate, like it breaks out, but I love it so much. And then I'm celibate right now, so like the chocolate definitely could replace sex right now. But I'm trying to get my skin to clear up. I also suffer from like dryness, like in this area and sometimes on my forehead. So just appreciating like how my skin is healing. Yeah. But see, I have a little breakout right there, but it's small. But yeah, just appreciating that. And then even I can see like my lip color from when I used to smoke. My lips used to be black. My top lip has always kind of been like a brownish color, so I ain't worried about that. But my bottom lip was black, and I am starting to get like my pink pigment back. And I'm just admiring, my facial features, definitely with this haircut. Like, I thought the locks had me admiring my facial features and all that stuff. But, like, with the haircut, you definitely find the beauty in you when you cut your hair off. It definitely gives you, confidence in yourself. Another thing I've been doing that has helped me with, like, my self-esteem is and my confidence, is sharing some of my poems. So I definitely been doing that. And that's me being very vulnerable. Like I hate sharing my poems. Like even when I was dating Dante, like I did not like him reading my poems, but he even got me comfortable to the point where I would read them to him, and he always was like, "You need to go read poetry at one of like the poetry, like, I don't know if you call them poetry slams. I don't know what you call them. But he's always like try to get me to do that. He used to love when I would write. And but I never felt super confident and comfortable sharing stuff with other people. So I'm doing that, and I love that. That definitely gives me this boost. Creating these videos has helped with confidence as well. Having to put myself out there and just be like, fuck it, like you take me as I am, and has been a big confident booster. I am still trying to figure out like my daily routine, and that's hard for me because number one, I'm broke. So I can't just, do the things that I desire truly. Um, However, I do have certain resources and stuff in the house that I probably could set up a daily routine with. However, since I know that this situation is only temporarily, it has been hard for me to like actually try to set up a routine because I know that that routine will be disturbed in another month or so. So it's kind of like, what's the point of setting up a routine when in another month, like I probably will not be here. So, um, yeah, I think once I can start setting up, and I do have a routine, right? I do make these videos. I still haven't gotten to the point where like I'm feeding myself like I'm supposed to. Like I'm probably still eating once a day. Um, and that's bad. But at the same token, I have grown in other areas, and I've talked about just not feeling like fixing those meals. But if someone had fixed it for me and put it in front of me, I would eat it. Um, so I'm not 100%, but I am actively working on things to be better, do better. I even had to have a conversation with like Charlotte about this whole process, and I'm starting to feel like that's one of the reasons I'm getting worried too, is because like she's worried, and she just came to me today and was like, well, what are we gonna do? And like, have you called and asked anybody? And I'm like, no, I'm not calling nobody and asking them for like $1,600 worth of rent. Like that's crazy. And she was like, well, you can call such, and I was like, I'm not calling nobody and asking them for that much money. And definitely I can't. It would be purposeless. See, if it was a situation where like I just needed this one time help, definitely would have called and asked somebody for help. However, my brain cannot register to call nobody and ask them for help, and I don't know how I'm gonna give you back your money. Plus, I don't know how I'm gonna pay the rent coming after. Like that's insane to me, and I'd rather just let the cards lay how they lay. But I did get frustrated, and I was like, well, did you call your dad? and I probably shouldn't have did that shit because it ain't our fault. But I definitely got frustrated, and I was like, because I felt like, I am already, taking this leap of faith and doing something different, something that I've never done before. Like, to me, this feels irresponsible. But for the new me, it's like, but is it irresponsible? Things happened and you don't fucking get it. So it's like, why stress yourself out about it? And but it did activate, some anger in me, because it's like my kid is stressed out about it, and then I am stressed out about it at certain times. Um and then she has a father, and like she always tells me like, you should put him up for child support, and I'm like, what's the point of putting him up for child support and he just end up in jail? Like I just feel like then you don't have a father at all. Like period, point blank. And then he never, he's not gonna be able to get out of the hole he in already. Like, so it's just, I don't know. For me, it don't add up. Like, it's not like, I don't know what he truly has, but on paper I definitely know he's not making that much money. So it would just be a headache for me to have to keep going back and forth to court to try to get the shit in the first place. But I definitely felt like, when she was just asking me all these questions, it was like, she don't ask him half that many questions when it comes to providing for her and taking care of her. And but yet I am being asked all these questions. And I do know, like she's stressed, she's worried. So I'll probably have another conversation with her later on. But the funny thing is when she called her dad, like his phones was disconnected, both of them. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe that means he's in jail, or maybe that means he's dodging because I threatened to put him on child support, which I've never done before. So I was like, I really don't know what that is about. However, you know, it's like this shit always falls back on me, and that's just transparency. It always has, and I always seem to figure it out. So even though I am like at this low point, like I'm really like ready to cry. Like I'm at this low point, and I don't. And it's weird because I do know that everything's gonna be okay, right? So I do know that I was given a vision that everything's gonna be okay, more than okay, more than I ever could imagine okay. But I wasn't shown how I was gonna get there, and is this part today like I'm struggling with faith, and it's just not so much that I don't believe that things will work out and turn out good. It's just so much that I think I'm just having this overwhelmed day of emotions, and I am going to allow myself to feel that, and hopefully tomorrow will be, I'm not going to say hopefully. I know tomorrow will be a better day. Like I have to feel what I feel. I'm human, and if that means today I get to cry myself, silly, like that's what I'll do. But I do know, like, today is rough, and I've had worse fucking days, so I thank God for that. Like, I have had worse days, which I think does allow me to be optimistic. But today was a rough day. Today is a little painful. Today is a little sad. And I think it's mostly sadness of like I don't have the answers. I can't. I'm not in control, right? I think that's the key. I'm not in control fully of how things are about to turn out. Um, I have to just have faith and trust in God, and I think that that human side of me is like, this could end badly. Like it's that negative self talk, and like I am fighting myself and saying, hey, look, it's not gonna turn out that way. It's not gonna be like this. So I'm kind of exhausted, kind of overwhelmed. But I am going to get through this day. I am not in the hole. And when I say I'm not in the hole, I feel like if you've ever struggled with depression, that being in depression is like being in a hole that you can't get out of. I feel like it was a poem that I came across when I was in the hospital doing partial hospitalization a few years ago, and it was talking about how you no longer get in that hole, but you walk past that hole. And then there's days where, you're aware that the hole is there. Sometimes you're going to stare at the hole. And I think today it's like I'm staring at that hole. I'm used to being in that hole, and I'm out of the hole, right? And I don't want to go back in the hole. And I do know that. I don't want to go back in the hole. And I do hope for one day where, I will be able to see the hole, but keep walking past the hole. May even take a whole another street that I don't even have to go near that hole anymore. So, yeah, that's what I am dealing with today. And whoever this video was for, just know you're not alone. Like, and if you are having any issues with mental health, in particular like suicide, like definitely text the 988 number. I use that number. I don't know if it was the same number, but I definitely used to use the suicide hotline number, and I used to use the DV number just because like I knew I didn't want to talk to people I knew. So I definitely took advantage of using that number. If you do need resources, there are resources out there. They will connect you with them. So yeah, go ahead and, reach out to them if you're having an extremely horrible day. I am just having a lackluster day. Like it's a little sad. It's a little gloomy, but the sun is out, and I'm definitely grateful to be here, and just gonna keep doing what I gotta do. whatever that is, and keep going. So I appreciate you for checking out my content. Continue to like, subscribe, share, comment. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And I did not just pass gas just down. That is definitely, I have like seat cushions from this place. I think the place is called Cushions, but it's like a back support, and then it's also like a pad that you sit on, and it's like for your lumbar, lower back. But yeah, so that was creaking. Don't judge me. Bye.